Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today I have a very special guest with us. I have Brendan Abbott. Hey there, Brendan. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. I'm happy to be here, man.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad you're able to join us a little late in the evening. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, Brendan, why don't you go ahead and begin by telling us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just kind of pick up from there.
All right. Well, to start, I am from the Ohio area. I'm a blue-collar worker. I did painting since I was 18. I started right out of high school doing a lot of stuff with cars. I was painting and doing body work on accessibility vans. That's really where I come from. And I went from there. I stemmed into powder coating, and then I went from there into it was mostly custom stuff. I was doing a lot of hydrographics, a lot of really fun stuff, but the pay just wasn't there. And then I ended up doing production powder coating, tried body work elsewhere for a little while, and then I went back to powder coating production. And that's really my background. I don't have a tech background or development or anything like that.
Okay,
And,
so for my viewers, why would I have invited you onto the show?
I actually started it's a looking for group app called Sabot Community. It's currently Android only. I'm working on iOS, but I need a Mac and an iPhone first, and I can't afford it yet. But basically what it is you make an online personality, like you say. Like if you're a Twitch streamer, it really helps for Twitch streamers and Mixer. I support all of that entirely 100%. You make a profile, and if you're looking to play with some people, you're able to go and find the game from a list, follow the game, and say you can enter a chat room. You can look at the previous. I call them publics. Publics is the LFG part of the app, but there's private messaging. I'm working on group messaging right now. That'll be done in the next couple of days. But basically, looking for group app bit is that you say, hey, like I'm looking for people for this. Like if you're playing Modern Warfare and you say, I want to play Warzone with 3 other people, that's basically what you type out, and you set your platform. I support PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, or PC if you're playing Battlefield or something. Mobile, Switch, and I think that's it. Or
Beautiful.
obviously like cross-platform. I mean, those are all options. It depends on the game. You're able to set how many people that you want to join you, and all the people who follow that game are actually notified immediately that you're looking. And it's been a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I really want to dive in because we were talking about it a little bit over email, and I really am interested in learning more about what you got going on there. But before we do, I start every interview with a single question I'm going to ask you, just like I ask everybody else. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, Brendan?
I'd say probably about a 7 or an 8. I was definitely the weird kid in school. Not a whole lot of people talked to me. I was kind of in with like the I don't want to say the nerdier group in case anybody's watching this, but I had a lot of respect for the people who were a lot like me. We played video games on the weekends or after school. That was really just my clique. It was just the outcasts. And I enjoy those people a lot.
I'm right there with you. I was exactly the same way. All through from elementary through high school, I had maybe 6 friends total I can count, right?
Probably, yeah. I could probably count on 2 hands, that's for sure.
All right. Well, this is the Gamerpreneur, so I'm going to need your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
Oh, I couldn't tell you the exact year, but I started out. My dad actually introduced me. He could be a bad parent, I don't really know, but he introduced me to Doom 1 and 2, and that's how I started. And then it quickly grew into when Halo was released. When Halo was released, my brother introduced me to it. I got really into the series, and I started modding for Halo Custom Edition, doing a lot of mods there. That's kind of how I started getting into like the back end of gaming, and it just grew from there.
Fantastic. All right. So you play anything now?
Oh, absolutely. I've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare because of the cross-platform abilities. I'm playing with a lot of my users, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, if you're a new user, we haven't played together before, that's like one of the first things I do is say, hey, if you play Modern Warfare, let's get it going. I just started a Twitch stream, and that I'm trying to get it out there, and it's been a lot of fun just from that.
Yeah, I saw the reviews on your app, and everybody was praising the fact that the creator is like your first friend on the platform. You're like the Tom of your platform.
What's different though is that I don't force everybody to follow me. I don't like doing that. I'd rather people follow me if they'd like to. I follow them first. I send them a quick message like, hey, thanks for signing up. This is the basics of how everything works. Just thank you, you know.
Absolutely. All right. So, desert island scenario. If you only got one game in the rest of your life, what is it?
Oh, that would be a great desert island, man. I'm looking forward to that. I have to say either Skyrim or New Vegas. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of the two, especially for the modability. You can do just about anything. They're the most modded games in the world right now. I mean, the possibilities really are endless. I mean, you have all
Skyrim came out 9 years ago or so, and with mods, it looks like it's current gen still.
I know, people are crazy. I wish I had that kind of like developer skill.
Okay, speaking of which, so your background's not as a tech guy. You said you were a blue collar, but you've developed this app. How did you learn how to do that?
Oh, strictly from, well, let me backtrack a bit. When I was about 13, I was really into Gary's Mod. That was one of the games that I played. I have 1,500 hours into it, which may not sound like a lot to some people, but yeah, 1,500 hours in that. Most of it was spent developing. If you're familiar with Gary's Mod, one of the most popular game modes on there was Dark RP, and that was where it was just a role-playing thing, and you basically have money. There were things you can buy. You can do all kinds of illegal stuff, or you can do legal stuff, act as like a cop and do all kinds of stuff like that. But I made it was basically it was a game type that was derived from that, but you were an army man, if that makes sense. Like you had like your green, or you had the tan, and it was just in this big room. And the plan there was to monetize it through donations and stuff, so people could become, they could go to the tan side or whatever. And I got really far into it. I had 3 years into building that, and that's all through LUA. It's something it's completely foreign to me now, but it wasn't long after that 3-year period that Gmod 13 came out, and it broke everything. I mean, just everything. And I gave up on it for a long time. And when Destiny 2 came out, which is much more recent, I'm 24, so that'll tell you. When Destiny 2 came out, it came out with an app that allowed you to find other players to come together for a raid. And I really liked that part. Me and my cousin did that a lot. And I was at work one day just thinking to myself, like, why don't they do that for all games? Like, why isn't that a thing? And I did some looking. I didn't find too much. Apparently there were other things, like, I won't name names, I guess, but there are a couple other ones that if I'd have known they were there first, I don't think I would have done this. But with that said, I'm glad that I did, because there's always room at the top for the best.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit more about your app? So it's an LFG app, but it sounds like it has some social components.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like your Instagram, or it was more modeled after Instagram. I like the simplicity of it. So you're able to follow users so that their posts show up on your dashboard. You're able to connect with users. This is the most important part in my opinion. When you connect with another person, it's a permanent bond that allows both users to actually rate each other in a 5-star format. So you could say, like, if you connect with somebody, when you come together through the LFG part, when you come together through Publix, and somebody requests to join, it automatically sends a connection request. And then when that other person confirms it or accepts it, it makes you both connected. And, after playing or vice versa, you're able to actually review each other. And it's one of my favorite things that I've done with the app, and my users seem to really enjoy that too.
Okay, wonderful. Now, like, how did you learn how to do this?
Oh, yeah, the original point, yeah. So I have this light pole, right? That I have a light pole across the street. I live in Amish country, Ohio, and for some reason, people really love to hit this pole with their car. And this idea had been buzzing around in my head for a long time. And we were out of power because it took out the transformer for about 10 hours. It was 1 a.m. I had to be up for work in 4 hours. And basically what happened was I couldn't get it off my mind, this idea. And I, just like anybody else, first thing I started doing is I pull out my phone, start Googling. And I found a course on Udemy that was how to build a social media website. And first thing the next day that I had a chance, man, I got right on it. I built the whole thing out in about 3 months and following along with that course. I tried to go live with it. It crashed. It burned. It did the whole thing. And I remember just laying on the floor like, why didn't this work? But it was awful. It wouldn't scale to screen size. It was horrible. And it just looked like trash. So
Maybe I missed something. Somebody ran into a light bulb and you decided to start a social media platform.
Well, yeah, I guess it works like that. Yeah. Yeah. I want to thank them, because I don't think I would have actually taken it that serious. Maybe it could have been one of those ideas, everybody's got that $1 million idea. It could have been one of those that, you just let go. And thankfully somebody hit that light pole and I had nothing better to do that night than look up how to make this thing.
All right. So you're doing this all by yourself then? Do you have a team?
100, you're looking at it right here. That's it.
Okay. Well, are you looking to scale? Like, where do you plan on this going in the next months, couple of years?
Oh, I absolutely plan on it. Like I said, I'm a blue collar guy. I don't really know how to get it to the next step, but I think I'm doing pretty well on my own for what it is. My biggest areas that I could improve on is, figuring out how to get new users on. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot to put towards an ad spend. Fortunately, the people who have signed up, most of them have stayed because they actually really do enjoy it. They enjoy interacting with me. They really enjoy the part that we're like the creator, they like to call me, actually like interacts with them and plays with them and stuff. So where to go from here? Obviously, we have to expand to iOS. That's the next thing. And then I want to rebuild the website so it actually scales to your device. It actually looks good, and it works like it does on the app. I'm a long ways away from doing that. I'm still working on the Android bit, but it's coming along really good.
Hey, it can't be that bad. You had overwhelming positive reviews, not just great app. No, like people were leaving legit reviews about you kind of as a person.
Yeah, they seem to really respect me for it. And honestly, I'm just as happy that they're as they are to be talking to me. It's kind of crazy from my side.
Sure. So what unique skills do you think that you possess that have kind of helped you build all this? What makes you different from the guy next door, other than the fact that he doesn't have electricity?
Well, I would definitely say that I have this obsessive focus on things that I want to do. I really enjoy like modifying cars, and that's kind of helped me with like, I want to do this. I tell people I want to do this, and then it's just kind of this promise I keep not only to them but to myself that I see things through to the end. And when I had this idea, I tried, I failed, I failed again, but I had this idea and I had nothing else. If it wasn't for this, I'd be paying the rest of my life, and I just can't do it.
All right. Okay. So what do you do for your RL for real life?
Well, funny thing actually, I quit my job right before all this COVID stuff started happening. So currently out right now. I've got some money put aside that I'm still putting into advertising and all that, but I'm hoping to eventually soon start reaching out to maybe an incubator or some sort of like small lender. I've been putting a lot of thought into it, but I've not really had any results just yet.
Okay. I want to point out, I want to commend you for having the courage to be able to continue advertising even though you don't currently have a revenue source. Because a lot of people will freak out right there, even though like the goal is like right there. They'll stop, right in the middle of the track because, some little barrier came up. So congratulations, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can't stop now. It's already it's rolling. The second you stop it, it's all gone.
All right. Well, what do you wish you had known when you first started doing this? How long ago was it?
I started it was July 1st, 2018 is when I first started working on it.
Okay.
Um, what I wished I had known was not to overestimate results. So I thought immediately things were just going to take off. It's just going to be this rocket ship that just never ending. And that definitely wasn't the case. Like I said, I fell flat on my face a couple of times, and it's been a great learning experience. So and now I'm trying to focus on under promising and over delivering.
Wonderful. And you have a fantastic attitude to go along with it.
Thank you.
All right. How about this? So you've been doing this for about a year and a half, and you have people using your app. And I talk to people every day. There are some people have been on my show that have far fewer people than you do in your app. Your app is far more developed than people who have lots of capital they're dumping into this. What advice would you have for others who may be interested in starting their own app or their own LFG kind of project?
Well, definitely, you got to have the right passion. Things like this don't get made overnight, and it definitely isn't going to come from any amount of money. There's no amount of money you can throw at anything that's going to make it a wild success. A lot of it comes, most of it, I'd say at least 90% of it comes passion first. If you don't have that, you don't have anything.
Beautiful. Okay. Where do you think you'll be in 5 years?
5 years? Well, hopefully I'm on the West Coast.
I tell my wife all the time, West Side's best side. So.
Yeah. You're from Ohio too, so
I grew up in California, lived in Colorado for undergrad, went to law school, and then lived in Ohio for 9 years.
Yeah.
Back on the West, much better over here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that. So yeah, that's definitely where I see myself soon enough. I want to be in the tech industry. Since I started this, I've been really interested in that alone. But to be out there and with the rest of these other people who had the same interest in me, they seem to be fishing in the same pond. I want to be somebody new that has a new experience that wants to build something that's similar to other things, but completely different at the same time because it comes from the heart.
Absolutely.
And I think the world needs more of that.
All right. So, got any other advice for anybody out there? And just programming in general. I've tried to learn programming. I tried.
I believe you. Well, I don't even want to say start slow, but it's just one of those things that you're going to have to fail at 1,000 times. But the best part about those failures is when you finally overcome that one small thing, and your head just explodes like, I just did that. And it might just be punching in, hello world, and you see it on your laptop screen. But that's how everybody starts. I mean, look at anybody that's done anything that like I've even done, even on this small scale. And that's where everybody has started, is just typing in hello world and they see it on the laptop screen. So it's just like anything else. It's one step at a time.
Beautiful. And that applies to everything. You're right.
Don't rush.
Yeah. Got to do baby steps before you can run.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, so how about I ask you my humbling questions? Okay if I humble you for a second?
Absolutely. I need it.
Okay. So your app is phenomenal. I've had a chance to look at it. I've seen other people engaged with it. It's fantastic what you're doing. And you've learned this all completely from scratch yourself, no background, no formal training in any way. But I don't want everybody to think you're a Superman who just like picks stuff up and starts taking it. Like,
absolutely not.
I want to, what is something that you've failed at in the past?
With this or
anything. What's
your
biggest failure that you're willing to admit?
Yeah, well, like I said, I modify cars. That's one of my favorite things to do. Besides that, like outside of gaming, is I like Subarus. That's one of my things. And, I've blown stuff up. I've done things poorly. I've done things cheap. I haven't done anything expensive, but I try my best. And what you'll see is through doing things poorly, you're going to fail 100% of the time. If you don't do anything to the well beyond the best of your abilities at that time, if you don't figure out those ways to do it better, you're going to fail. And I've done that countless times. I've trusted the wrong people from, over trusting. I've tried a whole array of things just from thinking better about something that I shouldn't have,
Well, don't necessarily lose that. I mean, there's a bit of naivety in there because I do that too. I'm always that guy who's going to trust somebody. So I don't like, as someone who's like you, be willing to trust, just cautiously.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll learn that. I mean, as you grow up. I'm only 24, like I said, but I mean, I'm also a very trusting guy, and it's put me in the back seat a couple of times.
But it'll also get you places. Don't think it won't.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you'll make a lot of connections in life, some good, some bad, and it won't be immediately obvious. That's for sure.
That's right. So what's something you're working to improve on in yourself right now?
Well, how am I improving myself? Well, I'm trying to exercise now. Since we're cooped up at the house now, I get out, I try to run, I try to lift weights, just anything I could do from home. Aside from that, I try to focus on being a better dad. Now that I'm home all the time, I'm able to actually see my daughter. She's 2. She's a lot of fun, and turns out that being a dad is a great thing.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. Mine actually turns 3 in a couple of weeks, so
that's awesome.
They get crazy. They just go nuts.
No, I'm sure.
So, Brendan, how do people find you? What's your website? How do they get to your app? What's your social? What are your handles?
Well, you can find me directly in the app. You can type in Piping Hot Gatorade. That's an Eric Andre bit. It's just kind of become my identity. It's in the Sabot community app. Or you can find me personally on Instagram. It's at WAKAMOLY. That's Guacamole. You can find me there through Facebook too, or type in Brendan Abbott just about on anything, and hopefully I'll pop up.
Beautiful. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up, or any questions I didn't ask you think we need to cover still?
Well, I mean, I think that about nails it, really.
Wonderful. Well, Brendan, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for having the courage to reach out to me.
Well, like I said, I was really excited when I saw your Facebook ad, and I mean, I had to click. I had to tell you, man, this is really cool. I'm really glad you're doing this for other people.
Thank you so much. No, I appreciate this, and I'm willing to promote anybody. I'm willing to have pretty much anybody, as long as they're a gamer who has some advice to give and they're doing something with their lives. Because you're familiar with that myth that gamers are lazy, unmotivated basement dwellers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've been called that before too. I mean, I'm no stranger to it.
We see at the highest levels of gaming, though, people making decent money in their businesses, large organizations. Oh, it's gaming. So the more people we can start featuring that are doing something with their lives, which is more than we can say with a lot of people, hey, we can change that stigma.
I think so too. And I think you're on the right track, man. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Well, Brendan, I really appreciate it. Sabot community, check it out. Gamerpreneurs, go back. I really did enjoy this one. This probably one of my favorite interviews so far.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
You're very pure, Brendan.
I try to be. I really try my best.
So everybody, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur. Hey, if you like this podcast, I'd love to invite you to check out a little bit more about me, Dr. Bradford Carlton, Gamerpreneur. If you go to my website, www.thegamerpreneur.com/bonus, I'm going to give you a free copy of my book, The Warcraft of Business, where I explain my history in both gaming and business and how I brought the two together in order to create some very successful companies and help a lot of people. And all you got to do is pay for shipping and processing, and I'll send you this book. I absolutely know you're going to love it. All right, you all take it easy.